Joining me today is Andru Volinsky, who's running for the Executive Council in District 2. Andru, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, John.
I like to ask all the guests that are running for office is sort of what's motivating you and a little bit about sort of your history. To get to know you as a person and sort of the motivations for seeking the office.
Sure. Well, I come to this from a fairly unique perspective in that most of what I know about state government I know from suing it.
Okay. So you see it from a very different vantage than most of our...
I am a very well-informed outsider. I was lead counsel in the Claremont school funding suit. I represent the public unions in their effort to protect their pension security, as well as a number of other public policy kinds of cases. Obviously, I'm a lawyer. I've practiced in New Hampshire since '82. I live in East Concord. We've lived in Concord the whole time since '82. And this is a time in my life where I feel as though I may be able to do more from the inside than from the outside. And so I'm anxious and interested in making the transition.
So the suits and sort of that inside-outside tension, talk to me a little bit more about that.
Well, I didn't go to law school to become a lawyer. I went to law school to make a difference. And when I was presented with the opportunity to help with the Claremont case way back in the early 90s, I jumped at it. Of course, I thought it was a one-year piece of litigation.
That wouldn't be framed forever in the life of the state or the modern history of the state?
Right. I didn't think it'd be a 20-year effort. I was wrong. But that is the kind of effort that I wanted to undertake as a lawyer. I was pleased to do it. It was mostly volunteer work. We had 18 lawyers at one point volunteering their time. Eventually, we established a right for the state to pay us, but we were paid 10 cents on the dollar 10 years after we did the work. So it wasn't for the money. It was because all of us believed very strongly in the need to look out for people who lived in poorer towns and, more importantly, the children who lived in those communities. So that's what's motivated me. Before I moved to New Hampshire, I did death penalty work in the South. I actually still represent someone in Georgia on death row, and I've argued a death penalty case before the U.S. Supreme Court. We moved here for me to become a public defender and to live closer to my wife's family, who they're from Massachusetts. And from there, I moved to private practice, and while I'm in the daytime mostly a commercial litigator representing businesses in litigation and doing employment law for individuals, I have looked for opportunities to make a difference with my legal practice, and in a lot of ways I've been very fortunate to find those opportunities.
So what's the role then that you would, what do you bring to the Executive Council that would be different from the average person given your experience?
Sure. So the life of the executive counselor involves getting what is essentially a 2-foot stack of contracts on a Friday and then voting on them the following Wednesday. It astounds me that there aren't currently any lawyers on the executive council, and I can't think of a lawyer who's been on it in the recent past. So as a lawyer, I have some facility with dealing with contracts. That's a minor benefit. But my training, my interests are in looking at problems from different perspectives. That's what I do as a lawyer. And I think that's a strong tool to bring to the council. I happen to have a very strong personal interest in issues of economic inequality. The Executive Council should be the steward for the state's economy. It should be looking for ways to get the best value, not the cheapest cost from the state's expenditures. That's what the council does.
And I got to stop you here because we're out of time. But when we return, we're going to continue focusing on the work of the council. So please stay with us.